Hi, everyone. Welcome. My name is John Cottrell. This is Soft Flow. This is a 60-minute gentle yoga practice. Welcome, everybody. So for our practice today, we are going to be doing some revolving poses. So revolving just means twisting, but there's some specific postures, and rather than just saying twisted, we say revolving. And so we're just going to be experimenting with some of those postures. And of course, we always take our time, we modify poses, and we also like to use props to help support our bodies in this gentle yoga practice. So here are some props that you may want to use, and they're pretty typical for this practice. We like to have a blanket, and that's something to sit on and actually kneel on as well. So maybe something soft, like a folded blanket would be perfect. And then a couple of yoga blocks can always come in handy. If you don't have yoga blocks, you can always use a stack of books, perhaps hardback books is great. Even just some soft pillows, because we actually use the blocks just for other ways of supporting the body. So they don't have to necessarily be blocks or something firm. They can be soft. And then maybe a big pillow. This is a bolster, a yoga bolster, just like a big cushion. It's very firm. And these are just really nice for some relaxing poses. Now, you don't have to have one of these, but it's very nice to have, if you happen to have one, for Shavasana at the end of your practice when you're just relaxing at the end and meditating. So as always, we like to begin our practice in a seated posture. So if you're ready to begin, I invite you to find a comfortable seat. You might sit on a pillow or your folded blanket. I like to cross my legs. I sit in half lotus. This is comfortable for me, but you don't have to sit like this at all. You can just cross your legs. This is just called easy pose. Or if you need to or want to just extend one leg or two, do that as well. You can even begin this practice sitting up against a wall just for support, or even in a chair. So wherever you are, finding that comfortable seat, sitting up as tall as you can, just feel the lengthening in your spine. You might take some deep breaths. You might breathe in through your nose and exhale through your nose or your mouth, just to get reacquainted with your breathing. Very nice. And you're welcome to close your eyes if you'd like, or keep your eyes open. You might just softly gaze forward or downward. And just continue to pay attention to your breathing. Just slow, steady breaths in and out. And you want to breathe in a way that you can hear your breath. And also notice how your body is responding to your breath. For example, as you breathe in, you might feel your breath rising upward to fill up your lungs. Good. Breathing slowly and deeply helps you to really pay attention to what's going on inside of you, letting go of the things that are going on outside of you. Nice way to be more aware and present and fully connected. I like just to call this a simple breathing meditation. Another sensation you may want to add in this part is after you inhale, lifting and lengthening through your spine, filling up your lungs. When you exhale, you might draw your navel inward towards your spine. Basically, you're just engaging your abdominal muscles, just very lightly. It doesn't have to be too strong or forceful, just an awareness of your center. Very nice. Go ahead and take 3 more breaths while we still sit in stillness. We're going to add a very simple movement in a moment. And you're welcome to join me. As you inhale, extend your arms out and up into the air. Treat it like a nice stretch. Reach high. Then exhale, extend your arms out and let them float back down by your side. Let's do that again. Inhale, extend your arms out. There's some effort, reaching, stretching. Reach all the way up, completing your inhale. And as you exhale, reach out as if you're going to touch the walls on either side of you, completing the breath out as your arms come back down. Go ahead and continue your breathing and your movement at your own pace. So you don't have to necessarily follow me exactly, just follow your own breath. Just a very simple movement, the movement of breath and the movement of your arms. And as you're moving, you might pay a little bit more attention to the sensations that are arising in your body. With the effort of extending your arms out and all the way up, you'll feel an energy in your arms, hands, and maybe your fingers. When you reach into the air, you might feel a lengthening or stretch along your spine and the sides of your body. And because your arms are in motion, you'll notice your shoulders. And continue to also notice your breath. Very nice. Go ahead and finish the breath that you're on and take 2 more breaths. And whenever you're complete, you can just bring your arms down by your side. Come to complete relaxation and stillness and return to the awareness of your breath. We're going to take our first twist right here. We're going to keep this very mild. So our first revolving pose. First, go ahead and take your left hand and place it on your right knee or outer thigh. Just place it here. And then take your right hand behind you on the floor, just somewhere comfortable where it's easy for you to then press into the ground to help you sit up even taller. So you might do that with an inhale. Press into the ground, sit up nice and tall. As you exhale, just draw belly in, that engagement feeling. All right, we'll do that again. Inhale, push into the ground just to assist your spinal extension. Exhale, pull belly in, and then a gentle rotation or twist to your right side. And you don't have to go very far. It's just a mild turn, and that's all you really need to do. We're just introducing the element and sensation of revolving or twisting. We're just going to hold here for several breaths, keeping it mild enough where you can hold a pose for a longer period of time. Sometimes we push too hard or even go too fast, and that kind of jolts the body and makes the body stressed. And so we really want to eliminate that sensation in our bodies. And so instead, when we move into our poses, we take our time, come to a place where you feel comfortable enough just to hold the posture for a longer period of time. Okay, we're going to inhale here, get tall. As you exhale, draw belly in, and then return to center. We'll hold here for a couple of breaths so everything can come back to neutral. So a very simple seated twist. We'll do the other side. So you'll take your right hand, place it on your left knee or thigh, and then your left hand behind you, same thing, just to assist you sitting up nice and tall. Now the right hand on the knee over here is really just to hold you in place once you're in the twisting pose. You don't want to pull yourself into the posture. Breathe in, nice and tall. Exhale, engage the abdominal muscles, and just a mild turn a little bit towards your left. And that's it. Even if it doesn't feel like too much, that's okay. All we want to do is mildly rotate, and we're in the pose. And then just continue breathing. This is perfect for the body. It's mild, it's gentle, it's easy. No stress to the body. You can still breathe slowly and deeply. We'll take 2 more breaths. Still holding the posture. Go ahead and take another inhale, your third inhale. Sitting up tall, exhale, engage your belly, and then unwind, facing forward, and just let your arms relax on your legs. We've got 2 more prep poses to do here. Let's do our mild seated back bend. Here, take your hands behind you. Just lean back onto your hands or fingertips. As the hands and arms are behind you, also draw the shoulders back a little bit here too. Tip your chin up, not too high, not so you don't strain your neck. You're just tipping the chin up. Then again, inhale, press into the ground with the hands, but also feel the breath rising to fill up your lungs. So you'll feel this expansiveness across the chest, really filling up your lungs. As you exhale, still draw belly in or belly button in towards spine to engage your abdominal muscles. Do that again. Press into the floor, inhale. Fill up your lungs. Exhale, engage belly. And if you're able, even squeeze your shoulder blades together behind you, or just feel like your shoulders are trying to meet each other behind you, coming inward towards center. 3 more breaths. So again, just a mild back bend, but there's a lot of sensation here. Arms are active, chest expanding. Then go ahead and lower your chin. Walk your hands towards yourself so you can sit up nice and tall. Again, you can just rest your hands in your lap and hold in stillness for a moment. So that was our back bend. Let's take our forward fold. Typically, we like to uncross the legs if they are crossed and reposition the feet and legs so that the soles of the feet touch. We call this bound angle pose. One, because you're creating an angle in the legs, and the bound part is just because you're going to hold on to your shins. Here's where you might want to use your blocks or pillows just to provide support for the legs that are opened here. And you might just tuck those props underneath the legs. Holding onto your shins, ankles, or feet. Inhale, sit up nice and tall. Exhale, draw belly in and hinge from the hips, leading with your heart and chin coming forward. Again, keep these mild, very gentle movement, not forcing the body at all. We're inhaling to sit up nice and tall. Exhale, draw belly in, hinge forward just a little bit. And you can pause at any point. Again, you don't have to go too far or too fast, just enough where maybe you're feeling a bit of a stretch quality in your inner thighs. Some other things you could do for this pose is maybe round your back and lower your chin a little bit. That might allow you to go a little deeper. Again, not forcing it, but you can probably go a little lower. That not only adds sensation to the inner thighs, but you might feel this in your back. Nice stretching quality in your back. Let's hold for a few more breaths. And 2 more breaths in our seated forward fold, our bound angle pose that's folded. And then you'll just lift your chin so you can look out in front of you, helping to extend the spine. Maybe placing hands on the mat and inhale and press yourself back up until you're nice and tall in your seat. Hold for a moment. Then we're going to get ready to reposition the body. So maybe moving your props out of the way. We're going to come to hands and knees. So just take your time and just maneuver yourself until you are on your hands and knees. This is, again, you might want to use a blanket just for some padding for your knees and your wrists. I like to open mine up like a rectangle so I can place the knees and hands. So you're like this in a tabletop position. So meet me here if this feels okay. At any time, if you need to rest and get off the hands, go ahead and do so, okay? When you're ready, inhale, just lift your head, look forward, arching the back. You're arching it like you're doing a back bend or creating a U shape or a bowl shape. As you exhale, we're gonna round it out. Rounding the back, pulling belly button up towards spine, chin to chest. Inhale, reverse it. Now your pelvis is also in motion. You're tipping the pelvis back, belly drops, heart opens. Exhale, round it out, tucking the tailbone underneath, belly button pulling up towards spine, rounded back, chin to chest. And again, just go at your own pace, going through these 2 poses. When we inhale, looking forward, creating that mild back bend, that's called cow pose. When we exhale and round it all out, that's cat pose. So we often just call this cat cow. You can go as slowly as you'd like. You can go a little quicker if you want. And remember, you don't have to force your body into any of these poses. This is a nice undulation for the spine, some good movements in your hips. And these will also help with our revolving postures. Go ahead and finish the breath that you're on and take 2 more. And then come to a neutral tabletop position, holding for a moment, ready to transition. So if you are on a pad or a blanket, go ahead and crawl off of the blanket so you can set it to the side. Just keep it handy if you'd like to use that again. And then just make your way back out onto your hands and knees, ready for our next pose. You'll step your hands forward. As you step them forward, spread out your fingers pretty wide. It just creates a nice, sturdy and strong foundation for your body. Flattening your palms by pressing your hands into the mat. It also straightens the arms and brings energy to your arms. Tuck your toes like this. We're going to do cat and cow again. So inhale for cow, that's looking forward. Create the mild back bend. Exhale, round it into cat pose. Hold cat for a couple seconds. And then lift knees off the ground, sending your hips up into the air. You create an upside down V shape with your body. We're holding for just a moment, a breath or two. This is downward facing dog. Now look directly down at the mat and just step your feet forward until maybe you're standing in the center of your mat. Your feet are planted completely onto the ground. You'll be in a deep forward fold for a second, then inhale, slide your hands up the legs, maybe to your knees or thighs to extend your spine so you've risen halfway up. Then exhale, fold partially down. Your hands can just rest here on your shins. You can even bend your knees more and maybe touch your toes, but this is fine just like this. Just notice the sensations here. Maybe a little stretch in the hamstrings. And if you hang forward, you'll get a roundedness in the back. You can even shake out the shoulders if you want. But we're going to stand up. First, shift your weight back into your heels so you can easily tap your toes perhaps. Bend your knees. Feel like you're going to sit down into a low chair that's behind you. Look forward. Then take your arms out to the side. Drive your heels into the ground to help stand up, straightening your legs, and then reach up into the air. That's an inhale. Then exhale, bring your arms down by your side. That brings us to our first standing posture. This is mountain pose. Let's just go ahead and fold and come right back up. We call that the half salute to the sun. We're just going to do that same movement there. Whenever you're ready, just join me. Inhale, let's extend the arms up into the sky, big stretch. Exhale, spread your wings, bend your knees and sit back into the imaginary chair. Folding forward, arms will come down naturally, your head will drop. There's our forward fold. Inhale, slide your hands up to your knees or thighs, extending your spine. It's a flat back like a table. Then exhale, fold. It can be all the way down or partially down, whatever feels right for you, for your back, your legs, even your neck and shoulders. But we are now shifting weight into the heels. Bend your knees. Feel like you're going to sit down into a chair. Look forward. Spread your wings again. Arms out to the side. Inhale, straightening your legs. Get nice and tall. Reach high like you're going to touch the ceiling. Exhale, arms down by your side. Very nice. Once you're here, just come to stillness. Hold for a moment. It's kind of an active pose, but then we're just going to shake it out. So just loosen up your shoulders. Shake them out, even your hands and wrists, even a little movement in your neck if you'd like. And even maybe moving your hips side to side, a little movement of your feet, stretch your toes. Alrighty, so from here we're going to move into a warrior position. It's a modified version of Warrior One, and we're just going to step back into it. Let me show you. Actually, we'll do it together. I'm just adjusting my mat. We'll begin together in mountain pose. Right here. Let's start by putting a slight bend in the knees, then start shifting your weight into your right foot, and just make sure you're pressing firmly into the ground with the right foot. Now with the left foot, we're just going to tap the left foot back, okay, just enough where you can easily just balance on your big toe. And then you're going to Place the heel on the ground. It'll create a natural turn of the foot and leg at an angle, just like this. The right knee will stay bent. Be sure your right knee and your toes are pointing forward. Place your hands on your hips. Push your pelvis downward and feel yourself grow even taller. And then with that space you've created in the waistline, we're just turning to face forward like this. Then we're going to inhale, take the arms straight up into the air, and exhale to hold the posture. So this is our variation of Warrior One. It is a lunge, but notice we don't have a lot of distance between the feet. We will be doing Warrior One again with more distance between the feet. Okay, we're gonna do one more thing. First, just inhale, reach high. Exhale, bring your arms down and back to your hips. Push down, push the pelvis down. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, and just continue twisting to the right. You won't go very far because of the left leg behind you the way that it is. You won't go very far as this rotation or revolving posturing. Okay. You're going to feel this more in the pelvis, perhaps. Muscles are engaged. One more breath in and out. And then just return to neutral, basically just facing forward. And then just start shifting your weight into your right foot, just kind of lean into it. And then just step the left foot to the top of the mat next to the other. Go ahead and sweep both arms up into the air. Big stretch. Exhale, arms down by your side. Alrighty, so that was our variation of Warrior One, and we added a very mild rotation. Let's do the same thing other side. Put the bend in your knees, shift weight into your left foot, plant it into the ground. Find that balance and just start tapping the right foot back until maybe you can balance on your big toe. It doesn't have to go back far at all. Pivot and set the heel onto the ground. Let the leg turn out naturally. Be sure your left knee is still bent, knee and toes pointing forward. Hands on hips, push pelvis down as you get more extension through the spine, and then face forward as best as you can, right out over the front knee. Then we'll inhale, take both arms up into the air, exhale, hold the posture. You should feel, for the most part, pretty balanced because the feet aren't too far apart. There's a nice connection here. You can feel the ground underneath you. Even distribution between the feet, distribution of weight. Okay, we're going to inhale, reach high. Exhale, bring hands back to your hips. Push pelvis down, get tall in the spine, and then continue rotating towards the left. Now, again, it may not be very far. I noticed like I didn't really turn very far at all. And of course, that's not the intention. We're not trying to push or force the body. You can just easily notice like, oh yeah, I'm turned at an angle. Maybe my heart or belly button is maybe in the same direction or angle as the left corner of the mat. So again, introducing a little bit of a rotation or revolving sensation. All right, let's come back to neutral or just facing forward. Let's shift the weight into the left foot, put weight into the left foot so you can step the right foot to the top of the mat. Let's inhale, take both arms up into the air, and exhale, bring your arms back down by your side. And again, if you like, you can roll the shoulders and just shake out any tension in the body. All right, let's go through a sequence where I'll break it down. We'll do it together, and we'll be moving into that other version of Warrior One. Here we go. We're going to inhale, extend the arms into the sky. Take your time with this. Exhale, spread your wings, bend your knees. Feel like you're sitting back into an imaginary chair, carefully folding. The back will naturally round. Your hands will drop. Your head will drop. Inhale, slide your hands up the legs until you can extend your spine so you're flat like a table. As you exhale, let the back round, bend your knees a whole lot until you can reach the ground with your hands. Place your palms on the floor and start stepping both of your feet back, all the way back until we draw a straight line in its plank pose, a high push-up position. We'll hold here for a couple breaths. You can always do this with your knees on the ground. Let's breathe in
Exhale, bend your knees a little, send your hips up into the air, and this is our return to downward facing dog. Now we're going to hold this a little bit longer than the first time. You might need to adjust your feet, just place them in an area that feels better for you for balance and stability. You can do the same with your hands. Maybe take the hands a little wider. Remember to spread out your fingers for a good base. Keep the knees bent or soft so you have some mobility in your hips, because you want to feel your hips lifting up into the air and at the same time, hands pressing into the ground. Again, if you need to rest, you can always come down to your knees. From here, we're going to inhale, extend right leg up off the ground. Just reach behind you, reach through your toes. As you exhale, bend your right knee, bring it in underneath you towards your chest or chin. Your upper body is shifting forward until your shoulders are aligned over your wrists. Bring that right foot to the ground. Just let it land. And then bring the left knee to the ground. What we'll do is reach back with your right hand, literally pick up the right foot and place it up higher on your mat. Replace your hand. And then lift the left knee, turn left heel to the ground. We're moving into that warrior one. Shifting the weight back so there's a little bit more pressure in that back foot and hopefully less weight and pressure on the hands. We can easily rise up to your fingertips. So you might look something like this. So if you can see me, there's not a lot of weight. I have no weight on my hands. And then bring your hands up to the thigh, push into the thigh to help lift torso here to about 45 degrees. At this angle, there's still a lot of energy and weight coming forward. We need to balance that by putting weight in that back foot. Now take your arms out to the side and up into the air. Here's our first warrior. Inhale, reach. Exhale, lunge, or just bend the right knee a little more. You may notice a little bit more sensation in that left leg and hip. This is a different version of our warrior one. Let's go to warrior two. We're going to inhale, reach high. Exhale, turn your torso towards the left side of the room. You'll be sideways. And bring your arms down to parallel. Reach. If you want, you can keep the feet just as they are. I like to take my feet a tiny bit wider. You don't have to do that. Okay? I just like that sensation. It feels just right for me, especially in this front leg. Let's hold. Then we're going to straighten the front leg. Straighten it here. We're going to reach out over the right leg like this. So you're angling the upper half of the body like you're reaching out to grab something, and then rotate your arms. Right hand comes down maybe to the knee or inner thigh, while your left hand reaches into the sky. This is triangle pose. Great hamstring stretch. I notice this more in the higher region of the hamstring, just as it starts to connect to the glutes. That's where I tend to feel this pose. So just notice what part of the leg you have sensation. This is triangle. Eventually, not just yet, we're going to be revolving this pose or twisting this pose the next time around. To come out of the posture, you're going to bend your right knee so you have some leverage, using that strong leg to actually come back up to a warrior two like this. We're going to reverse the warrior, turn the right palm up, reach up into the air as the left hand just rests very lightly on this back leg, and just reach. It can be at an angle, kind of out front like this. It might be straight up. It might even be slightly behind you. Okay, now when I reach back, this is just my body. When I reach back, I get a little tightness and tension in my low left side. That doesn't feel very good. I feel stressed. And so I like to lighten it up a little bit. But I do feel that extension through the right side of the body. That's what we do want to feel. So you can always adjust your poses. We're going to do a big windmill with the arms. Right hand comes down, left hand comes up like you're doing a cartwheel. Bring both hands down to the ground. Rise up onto your tiptoes behind you so the heel lifts. Be sure your hands are pressing firmly into the mat. Strong connection so you can slide the right foot back into plank pose. Then we're going to take a little break here. Bring your knees to the ground. Sit back briefly in hero. Don't worry, we are going to do the other side, but we're going to do something first. Slide off the heels, sit down, swing the legs around to the front. We're going to do a couple of poses here, actually just one pose here. Okay, staff pose. So straight legs straight out in front. Flex your feet.
Strong straight legs, hands on the floor by your hips, just push into the ground to help the spine stay extended. Notice, see if, I don't know if you can tell, my shoulders are protruding forward. Okay, I want the shoulders to go back. So I'm just rolling the shoulders back like that. In a couple of breaths. This is just called staff pose. It's just an active seated position. Active because feet are flexed, so I can feel the energy in the legs. Hands are pushing into the ground to help extend spine, and we're breathing. As you inhale, still fill up your lungs. Exhale, pull belly in. 2 more breaths. All right, let's soften the body a little bit. Just start to relax. And we're going to go back to our hands and knees. So you may just lean to one side, swing the legs behind you, maneuver yourself until you're on hands and knees. Let's return to our downward facing dog. Spread out your fingers, step them forward a little bit, tuck your toes. Inhale, look forward for cow, arch the back. Exhale, round it into cat. Lift knees and hips into the air, downward facing dog. Adjust your feet if you need to, and adjust your hands. Remember to bend your knees slightly, lift your hips up, hands press. Feel the good energy in your body. Other side now. Inhale, extend left leg up into the air. It doesn't have to lift high, just reach through your toes to the back of the room. Exhale, bend the left knee, bring it in underneath you towards your chest or chin, shifting your upper body so your shoulders are aligned over your wrists, and then set the left foot down on the ground. Set your right knee onto the ground. Pick up your left foot, place it up higher on the mat, probably where your left hand was. Place the left hand down. Relift the right knee. Turn right heel to the ground. Put some weight back there on that foot. Less weight in the hands. Rise up onto fingertips like this. And just trying to get weightlessness in the hands. Hands on your thigh. Push into the thigh to help maneuver your torso up to about this 45-degree angle. Remember, at this angle, there's a lot of energy coming forward. Place the same amount of energy in that back foot so you feel balanced. Extend arms out to the side and up as you inhale, reach. Exhale, lunge. Bend the left knee. Let's hold for several breaths. This is our Warrior One variation. Second variation. So a wider stance, that's all. We just put a little bit more distance between the feet. Okay, we're gonna breathe in. Exhale, turn your torso towards the right side of the room, sideways. Arms down to parallel to the ground. Warrior Two. Hold, lots of energy in the extended arms. We're going to triangle, so straighten the left leg, straight as can be. Reach out over the left leg, angled upper body, rotate your arms so your left hand comes down, maybe resting on inner thigh or knee, while your right hand reaches into the air. Again, notice where you might feel this in your left leg is in regards to perhaps a hamstring stretch. This also affects the hips just because of the angle. Remember, this is the pose that we're going to revolve. I'm going to give you a modified version of the revolved triangle position. To come out of the pose, we're going to bend the left knee, a nice lunge for leverage, so we can come back up to a Warrior Two. Let's reverse the warrior. Turn left palm up, reach up. Place right hand lightly down on the back leg. Reach. Again, it can just be kind of out and up like this, or straight up, or even slightly behind you, just depending on what kind of sensation you want to create. For me, that's tension. And so I loosen it up a little bit and just kind of reach up. Nice lengthening through the left side of the body. And then we're going to do a windmill or like a cartwheel and bring the right hand up and over. Let's turn, bring the hands down to the floor, rise up onto the tiptoes behind you. So you're in I call a runner's lunge. Press palms firmly into the ground so we can distribute the weight into the hands, less weight in the left foot so you can slide or step it back. Plank pose, hold. And now bring knees back down to the ground. We're going to sit back into hero pose. Just to get off the hands, sit off to the side. Bring the legs around front. Rather than just straight out front, take the legs wide. They don't have to go too wide, just a V. I'm going to face you, okay? You can go wide if you want to, but not necessary. I'm going to go a little wider. That just feels good for me, but they don't have to go out this wide. Alrighty, same thing. You may want to place the hands kind of behind you like this, pressing into the floor to really extend spine. We're going to do a couple things with this. We're inhaling to lift, exhale, hinge forward, just a little bit, not much, just enough where you maybe start to feel that hamstring stretch, okay? Just a few breaths here. It is okay to put a bend in the knees. All right, if your legs do not go absolutely straight, they don't have to go absolutely straight. You can always have a bend in the knees. You probably still feel a stretch. Couple more breaths. Then we're going to rise back up. Okay, we're going to do a little bit of a twist and a fold. So bring left hand around to the front here. Push into the ground with both hands from back and front. Inhale, push to lift. Exhale, twist towards right leg or foot, right there. So we're in a twist, right there. We're going to keep both feet flexed. We're inhaling, getting tall. Exhale, folding out towards the right leg here. So we're in this twist and a forward fold. And again, keep it mild. You don't have to force this. That might mean the legs can be closer together in your V shape. There can be a bend in the knee, and you certainly don't have to fold all the way down. 2 more breaths. You can use your hands to help press and lift yourself back up. We're still facing that front foot or that right foot, and then return to center. Lean back a lot so you can bend the knees. Let's get that stretch out of the legs. Bring the feet together here. Now, this is going to seem a little odd, but just let the knees shake. Just kind of let the knees bounce. Okay? Just very gently here. It's really just kind of loosening up the joints, okay? In a very therapeutic way. Okay? Just those light bounce of the knees for the leg joints. All right, we'll soften that up or pause. Let's re-extend the legs. Adjust the width if you need to. Flex the feet to keep them energized. Push hands into the floor, sit up tall. Exhale, fold forward just a little. We're not going to be here too long since we've already done this, but just a couple of breaths. We're going to come back up to center, nice and tall. Place right hand between the legs here. Push into the ground with both hands. Inhale, nice lengthened spine. Exhale, turn torso towards left foot. Right there. Again, not overdoing this at all. We're inhaling again, getting taller. Exhale, fold out over the left leg. These are great postures because so many things are happening at the same time. We get a forward fold. If your back happens to be rounded, which is fine, you're getting a nice back stretch. We're in a twist, and we're also getting a leg extension. How about 3 more breaths on this side? And again, still pressing hands into the floor to help you sit up nice and tall, still facing the left foot. Inhale. Exhale, engage belly just for support, then you can unwind facing forward. Let's do the same thing. Lean back, bend the knees, get the stretch out of the legs, feet together, a little bounce of the legs. All right, let's get ready for that revolving triangle pose. So let's come back to hands and knees. We're going to do a cat-cow. Okay, there's that fluid motion again through the spine. So here's our tabletop. We'll inhale, look forward, arching the back. Exhale, round it out. Do as many as you'd like. You can go as slowly or as quickly as you'd like. Just adding more mobility through the spine and the pelvis. And that's what we really want to have, especially if we're practicing revolving positions.
Just a little flexibility and some good mobility through the spine and your hips. Okay, come to a neutral position, tabletop. Let's step the hands forward, spread out your fingers, tuck your toes. Go ahead and lift the knees into the air, lift your hips into the air, downward facing dog. We're going to inhale, extend right leg up, reach back strongly. Exhale, bend the right knee, bring it in underneath you. Now, if you need to, do the exact same thing. The foot can come down at center, bring the left knee down, step the right foot forward. Or if you can, on your own, just wiggle that right foot forward, just like this. Again, if you don't make it, set the left knee down, pick up the right foot, place it where you want to. Set left heel onto the ground, shift the weight back so there's less weight in the hands. Hands to thigh, press, lift to 45 degrees. More energy in that back foot. Let's inhale, both arms out to the side, reach up into the air, exhale, lunge. Hold, inhale. Exhale, we're going to open this to warrior two, right there. You can keep a short distance between the feet or widen the stance if you'd like. In our warrior two. We're going to get set up for triangle, so we are straightening the right leg. Go ahead and relax your arms for a moment because I'm going to invite you to actually take a shorter stance. You can bring the feet a little closer together. Then re-extend the arms, reach out over the right leg, and then rotate. So we've just modified our triangle just a little bit. That's going to help us revolve it or twist it. Just follow me. Good extension through this left arm, getting some length through this whole left side. Now, basically, like you're a propeller on a plane, just rotate until you're facing the floor, arms are out by your side like this. You can even be at this angle. Okay, now you could go lower, but you don't have to. Just find somewhere in this range, okay? And then the left hand will come down to the inside or outside of that right leg as the right arm, your propeller over there, is reaching towards the right side of the room. Now, if you're really flexible, this right hand might even reach for the ceiling, but we're keeping this modified. I'm in a slight rotation, but I'm not fully rotating. The rotation I'm in actually resembles the other rotations we've done already. To come out of the pose, just unwind, come back to triangle, right hand down, left hand up. Let's bend right knee for leverage so we can come back up through a warrior two, reverse the warrior by taking right hand up into the air, reach and stretch, and then our cartwheel or windmill, bringing both hands down to the floor, press into the ground. We're gonna go right back to down dog, meaning step the right foot back, hips right up into the air. Downward facing dog. So that's our sequence. We did a modified revolving triangle pose. Other side. Inhale, extend left leg into the air, reach back. Exhale, bend left knee, bring it in underneath you. If you can, bring left foot up near the hand. Do the variation that we did earlier if you need to, no worries. Turn the right heel to the floor. Press into the floor with the heel, less weight on the hands, extending spine. Arms out to the side as you inhale. Reach up into the sky. Exhale, settle into the pose. Hold for a second, arriving in first warrior. We're going to inhale and exhale, open to second warrior. Hold for a moment so you can just arrive and be in the pose. We'll get set up for triangle in a moment. Go ahead and straighten the left leg. Actually, relax the arms. If you want to, you can always shorten the distance or just change how much space there is between the feet. You can decide. Arms back out to the side, reach out over left leg, angled upper body, rotate the arms. Reach down with a good active reaching up sensation. This is getting some length and space through the right side, especially in the waistline area. Getting ready to revolve. Your arms are now propellers. Rotate until you're kind of facing the floor. Choose the angle you want to be in. It could be high, doesn't matter. Find it and then bring right hand down to the inside or outside of this left leg as the left arm reaches out and maybe towards the ceiling. Now I'm
my hand, you probably can't tell, it's at an angle. It's not reaching for the ceiling at all. It's more at an angle. But my torso is also at an angle. Okay, this rotation. Because I do feel this. You're going to feel this in the hips. It's a different sensation because of the distance between the feet. So it's not absolutely required for you to rotate enough where the hand is reaching for the sky. This is fine just like this. We're going to unwind it. So left hand comes back down while the right hand comes up, back to our regular triangle. Coming out of it, bend the left knee for leverage. Come back up through a warrior two and reversing your warrior. Left hand up into the air. Reach. We're going to exhale, big windmill or cartwheel, bringing hands down to the floor. Press firmly. Rise up on tiptoes behind you. Slide left foot back. We'll come to plank pose now. Hold plank. Hold a little longer if you're able. And then a bend of the knees, hips into the air, downward facing dog. Very nice. Let's go ahead and bring knees to the ground. Sit back briefly in hero. Slide off the heels onto the ground. Swing the legs around to the front. Find a seat in the center of your mat. We're going to lie down on our backs, and you do want to have some blocks or your books nearby. We're going to move into a supported back bend, and so you'll use the blocks for that. So whenever you're ready, go ahead and lie down onto your back. You're going to bend your knees, place your feet on the ground, knees bent, and just relax for a moment. Just lie down and let everything release. A couple of deep breaths. And ready for our supported bridge. All we're going to do, so grab your blocks so you've got them in hand. Take a breath in, fill up your lungs. Exhale, press feet into the ground, lifting hips up into the air, and then slide your blocks underneath you. Sit right there on your blocks. Just kind of settle in, adjust the body as we hold this supported bridge pose. It just opens the whole front side of the body. I'm going to give you an option. You don't have to do this, which you're welcome to if you'd like. You can just keep the feet planted into the ground, knees bent. This is perfect for your pose. To get a little bit more length through the front portion of the leg, you're welcome actually to extend the legs, especially if you're sitting on something that's firm. You can extend the legs out like this. And it just really opens and lengthens the whole front side, especially through the pelvis, upper thighs, low belly. You can do that if you'd like, even if it's just for a short period of time. You can stay just like that in that elongated version of the pose or replant the feet into the ground. Go ahead and take 3 more breaths. Take your time. So we're still holding the pose. We're going to stay lifted in the air, sitting on our blocks, but bring the feet together. Okay, so maybe the feet touch, maybe the inner thighs or knees touch. We're going back to that bound angle or cobbler's pose where the legs carefully open out to either side. The soles of your feet touch, and you'll get a little bit more sensation in the inner thighs. Now you can also gauge this. I'm sitting on 2 blocks, and that just means I'm farther away from the floor. The knees really are heavy and are pulling downward. Now that might feel great, but this feels like it's a little bit too much. So what I'm going to do is come back up to neutral, plant my feet, lift the hips, remove one of my blocks, come back down, sitting only on 1 block, and go back to that same position. And that way, see that now for me, this feels much better. I don't feel like it's really pulling too forcefully. So again, adjust your poses as much as you need to or as you'd like, and know that you don't have to hold the postures very long. You can always get the sensation you desire and then come out of the pose. Okay, we're taking 2 more breaths. So we're in this kind of this elevated reclining cobbler's pose. We're going to return to neutral. Bring the knees up, plant the feet, press into the ground, lift your hips, remove your block or blocks, come all the way down to the ground. Hold. Then hug knees to chest, both knees. Just hold your knees or shins in your hands. You can add some movement here, which is what I like. Just a little circular motion. Move them counterclockwise and clockwise, forward and back, side to side. Just a little massage for your low back area. We are going to do one more revolving pose. Okay, just spinal twist. So whenever you're ready, you can take both knees over to the left side of the room, maybe down all the way to the ground. If they don't touch the ground, here's some options. Grab that pillow or block, place the block either underneath the left knee or even between the knees, either one or both. That way you don't over rotate. And as the knees are off to the left, extend your right arm to the right. Tune in or check in with your body and assess, like, well, does this feel okay? Is it pulling? Is it straining me? Am I stressing out? Okay, if that's a yes, then you may want to modify the pose in the way that feels best for you. Again, you want to perhaps be in a pose like this one, and maybe some of the other ones, where you could hold it for a good period of time. Let's take 3 more breaths on this side. When you're ready, take your time to come back up to center. You can hug the knees into your body. You can even place the feet back down on the floor if you want to. Just as an opportunity to realign the spine and hips, and then take them to the other side. Again, use your props as you need to for support. As the knees go to the right, left arm extends out to the left. For another sensation, if you want, just an option, the left hand can reach behind you, okay, reaching in the same direction as your head. And it just kind of stretches down through the whole left side of your body. Just a different feeling in that rotation. Check in with your breath. Hopefully you're still able to take slow, deep breaths. You feel relatively comfortable and at ease in this twisting position. Nothing feels forced or strained. And knowing that you can always come out of the pose before I instruct you to come out of the pose. Go ahead and take 3 more breaths. And we'll come back up to center. You can hug the knees in or set the feet onto the ground. Either way, while you're here in this neutral position, decide what relaxing pose you want to finish in. So that could be Shavasana, where you extend both legs out in front of you onto the floor with your arms resting down by your side. Now, this is where you can also use your props that you brought in, your blanket, even your big pillow or bolster if you have one. And just find a place that feels great. For example, you might even take your blanket, I'll just do this, take your blanket, roll it up, have a nice firm roll, and place it underneath your knees like this, so your knees are slightly bent. as you're lying down. That might even be a little bit more comfortable for you. You can elevate your feet on your big cushion or even the seat of a chair if there's one nearby. You can even sit up, have an upper body kind of like you're reclining in a lounge chair. Wherever you are, see if you can find complete stillness. You're welcome to close your eyes or just soften the gaze in your eyes. And just notice your breathing. Continue to notice your breathing. Just slow, steady breaths, but just being mindful of your breath. Maybe you can still hear it. You can still feel it moving through your body, helping you to remain neutral, connected, and aware. In a moment, I'll be closing our practice. You can work with me and move with me as we close the practice together, or you're very welcome to stay in your restorative posture or your relaxed position, Shavasana or elevated legs, wherever you happen to be. You can just stay right there. Before you move, take 5 slow, deep breaths. If you're still relaxing, just stay relaxed. You can just keep your breath steady until you're ready to move. And start your movement with deeper, slower breaths. Preparing your body to move. Maybe you're starting to feel motion return to your body. And after your 5th breath, take your time, move as slowly as you can. You might have some props that need to be moved. Just sliding them out of the way, maybe rolling onto one side of your body. A few breaths in this nurturing pose if you'd like. And then still moving in slow motion, just guide your way up to seated. We'll end our practice as we began our practice, just sitting comfortably, maybe sitting on your cushion or a block, legs crossed or extended. Find some nice extension through your spine, maybe a little roll of the shoulders, and then relax the arms. And your hands can just rest in your lap or on your knees, still noticing your breath. Very nice. Let's finish with one more movement. Go ahead and inhale, extend your arms out and up into the air. As you exhale, bring your hands together and down to your heart. Hold here in stillness. Breathe slowly and gently. And as we come to the close of our practice together, we bow saying, Namaste.